2 million plus in revenues with 350 plus customers, 30,000 plus monthly website visitors, 300 converted signups and demos, 200 marketing qualified leads, 500 pages in their website. Let's find out how they went from 0 to 1 million and how they are using AI for marketing to 10x. Welcome to this chat with Kabanti, who's the co-founder of Omnify, who also leads their marketing. How did we go from that 0 to 1 million? So what are some of the top learnings from that that will come handy for other founders who are in a similar journey as well?
Yeah, sure. When we started in 2016, before that we were building another product called Link My Sport. When we were building it, we were actually working with some facilities in Bangalore itself, and we were trying to build a solution for them. But it didn't work out, but we were into the journey and we realized that we actually want to solve the problem for the sports facilities who were trying to rent out their badminton court or their football field or their other kind of facilities rentals, right? So we started from there. And while we were doing it, we realized that we need to kind of build an inbound function so that we can drive traffic, because we are just 4 people then and we can't go to every sports facility in the world and sell them. So we needed something, right? When we actually launched it, Link My Sport, we were getting a lot of inbound inquiries from people who were in children's activities, wellness, dog walking business, etc. And they said hey, we need similar tech. And actually it was quite substantial that we actually sat down and thought, we are building a solution specifically for sports, but this is actually where we realized the opportunity actually is much larger and more horizontal, like how Shopify operates. And that is when we pivoted and started building Omnify. So though we launched Omnify in 2016, we were approached by other customers. And the first customer I remember was from US. He was running tennis coaching in 6 different locations. So it was substantial businesses, and he was going on and on about why there is no good software that kind of meets his needs, right? And these are very basic needs, but they go deeper. And we found an opportunity there and started building. We actually launched Omnify with him at the 6 locations, and soon we he referred us to some other people. We're getting inbound requests, we're getting some referrals as well, and soon we had around good solid 20 people using us. So that was the first. Now with Omnify, we actually hit a lot of inflection points. So our journey is not probably it is just up and down. So that was 2016 when we did that. Then 2017, we actually hit our first growth moment with AppSumo. And 2017. 2017, yes. 1 year later. Yeah. So for people who do not know AppSumo, it's basically a marketplace where companies can launch their MVP products, and you get your first set of beta customers. They pay you a very minimal amount, like $49 for the entire lifetime, and they use your product. So they are first beta customers, and you get enough feedback. We ran the campaign for I think around 2 weeks, and we onboarded around 3,500 customers, and it was overwhelming. Gave us the first set of validation that people actually started using the product. They liked the product. We got a lot of feedback, but as I mentioned, overwhelming be the keyword, right?
So 3,500 customers you got specifically from AppSumo.
Yes.
Okay, and how much you had to invest in AppSumo for this?
They charge a lot of commission. Its majority goes to them. We just get a very minimal amount. But then also we were not worried about it. We needed that customer base, right? But what happened was, though we got the money in the bank, we got the customers in the bank, but it just kind of threw us off from the focus why we built Omnify, because there's different kinds of law firms were using us, different affiliates were using us. They were using us for different things. Though we wanted to build a horizontal platform, but I think our focus was kind of completely messed up. And now if you ask me, I'll give it a second thought again. Should we have done it or not? But again, it happened and we kind of started out. There are a lot of people, it works. Probably it worked for us as well, but it I think overwhelmed us a a lot, right? And we kind of lost the focus. And then 2019 again, we regrouped and we like, okay, let's just focus. We had 10 people team in 2019, and most of them were engineers, and I were the only kind of non-tech there, and we were doing a lot of things. And that's when we closed Decathlon India. It was one of the biggest retail chains, and we started their entire All for Sports campaign, where people would come to their app and could book courses, etc. And it was actually a pretty successful pilot we did with Decathlon India. And then we like, okay, we wanted to go the enterprise route, and let's just stick to it. By the end of 2019, we actually had one big retail client from Singapore and one of the biggest one in US in our pipeline, ready to kind of sign a contract. And as fate would have it, 2020 beginning, COVID happened, and everything stopped. Like Decathlon had to shut down, and everything kind of shut. And we primarily work with these local businesses who have a physical presence. And but by 2020, actually, what we had learned is that we kind of adapt very fast. Really, 3 inflection points have happened. And we have adapted every time. So we had this confidence that we had a month's runway, and we thought like, okay, we can just make it. And then we found an opportunity where the pools in US were opening during June, July month, right? And May, June, July, and they were opening, and they needed technology which can help them safely open their pools, including like online waivers, etc., and also manage the entire capacity, like how many people can actually book the amenities and all.
Okay.
We soon grabbed the opportunity, partnered with few of the associations, and like in a few weeks, we actually onboarded 1,000 pools. And we were still 10 people team. We had 2 people doing sales. We just had 1 person, me, doing support and customer success. And that is where the whole automation, I had to create all the videos and self-serve things. But it was really kind of amazing to see that, okay, this is the first time actually the actual people were using our system for proper solutioning. And it went for good 2 years. The whole pandemic season, we were used by HOAs, athletic centers, community centers, parks and recreation, governments were using us for safely opening pool. And the word of mouth was very, very strong, and people were referring, including some of our competitors were referring people to use Omnify.
2016 to when the AppSumo happened, how were the revenues like when that? Before pre-COVID, as it roughly?
Pre-COVID, we were not at 1 million, probably around 500,000-ish.
And then COVID happened, it dropped.
It was almost zero, right? For 2 months, we were like, okay, people are paying us. We are pivoting to like, say, hey, you are not doing physical classes. Why don't you do online classes? We did integrations with Zoom, etc. We still did some revenue because it was 2 to 3 months only. But then we just got the opportunity in March or April itself, I think.
Right. So the pools opening, and so it's the swimming pools who reached out,
Yes,
right? So they were, again, by that time you were the SEO, all those were strong, that all these were inbound, correct?
All these were inbound. We also created a lot of campaigns. So if you search for poolisopen.org, you'll find that there's a nice website. We actually created a lot of campaigns, marketing campaigns, to get these pools onboarded.
Outbound.
Not outbound, all inbound, all SEO focused. We did a little bit of social. We reached out to swimming pool associations as well. And we also had a very strong word of mouth. So that also worked for us.
Got it. And then in a few weeks' time, it again rose back to close to what, 500K or?
Yeah, we were almost, we didn't touch 1 million, but we were almost close to 1 million ARR at that time. Yeah.
Okay.
That was very interesting. Those 2 years, we actually hired our team. We were, at one point in time, we were like 50 people team. And we had people in sales, people in marketing. But honestly, most of the traffic were coming because they had a solid need, right? And that kind of worked, and we understood the playbook there. But as soon as the pandemic kind of was, we're done with the pandemic, and it kind of hit us. We said, oh, we were seeing a lot of churn because the need was not there, right? These are public swimming pools. They don't need to kind of do any registrations or bookings, right? And the reality hit us, and we're like, okay, now we have to see, like, what do we do about it, right? And we were always thinking about, okay, this is there. The new normal, what we called at that time, is probably back to the older one, right? So now we have to go back to the drawing board and see what is our direction. And again, everything changed around 2020. We had to downsize our team again. From 50 people, we came back to around 25 people team. People we really, really needed. Then again, we went back to why we started Omnify, who our core ICP is, to the 2019 point when we started reaching out to our mid-market enterprise customers. 2023 is when we started going in that direction. And it was a amazing learning. It was really good learning for us. But we also understood, like, the need for, like, the adaptability is very, very important. So we needed to adapt again. So we reached out to, we did some reach outs to some enterprise customers, but our inbound, we started working again on our inbound channel. We went very, very deep in SEO. Short plug, I also, like, documented my entire journey in a playbook, and so we went very, very deep, and we started getting a lot of inbound requests again. We closed a few of these customers, and we started building on our new platform, which is Omnify. We're calling it Omnify 3.2. We just launched it. People can now directly sign up, etc. And that journey started, and that is when we crossed the 1 million ARR point. And so that is where we are at right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so last year we started building our most ambitious platform yet, with all the learnings we had over the years. We onboarded early customers, and the full rollout actually began this quarter. It's a long journey, but still feels like day one.
Got it. So, so a couple of things for someone who is in that journey of 0 to 1 million. What will be your, like, high level recommendations / tips?
I think I primarily touch upon three things. The first one, of course, is if you really want to build something, right? If you're bullish on something, just go ahead and do it. While doing that, make sure you are not doing it in silos. You're talking to people who are probably in the same boat as you, people who have started building, or people who have already built. For us, that platform was provided by NASSCOM 10,000 Startups very early on. It really helped us, gave us this confidence because we are surrounded by the peer group. Next was SaaSBoomi, because it was like a community where we could open our hearts out, talk about the problems, etc. So it's important, like, whoever is just starting out or is in that journey, it's important to talk to as many founders as you can. I've never met a founder who said no to a call, right? So that is very, very important. Second one is, I believed it from early on that you need to build with your customers. You can't just, like, sit in a boardroom wanting to just build fancy things unless you kind of want to build something that you already have a lot of domain knowledge in. But if you're building something and you want your real customer feedback, you need to do that. You need to either take the first flight and meet those 10 customers if they are in different parts of the world, or even if they are locally, you just have to kind of spend time with them. Something that we kind of couldn't do it early on, and though we met people and we had FaceTime with them via Google or Zoom, but I think now with the new platform that we have launched, we made sure that we actually spend a lot of time with our customers, be in their center, understand how the flows are. So those are the most important points. And the third point would be to go all in. I have the book by Girish right there. I'm reading it. And if you really want to do something, you just go all in. Don't think about anything else.
Right.
Just give your everything to it. Yeah.
Right. And then you should also have the 10x mindset.
You should have the 10x mindset. You should, like, I come from nowhere near to the startup world, right? And I'm the best example of that. But me and my co-founder been big believers of X mindset. So we always go to Toit when we are very confused. We sit in Toit, grab a couple of beers, and just think about like, okay, let's put a goal and let's just work towards it. From the day when we are just 4 people team to now when we are a 30 people team, same mindset. Every single person in the team has that. So it's very important, and nothing is impossible, especially in today's age where AI is there and people are like, some people are like, okay, threatened by it, but it's not like threatening. It's like so amazing, interesting. It just makes you 10x better, right? Or probably 100x better. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So amazing conversation, Kavanthi. There are a lot of takeaways for founders and marketers in general. So thanks for taking this time, and wish you all the best in the Lexing Omnify in this journey. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Daniel, for inviting me. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
I hope this conversation on 0 to 1 million you found it useful, and also how to use AI for marketing. Please leave your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next videos in the series of 0 to 100/AI for marketing. Until then, cheers and take care.